A reorganizational meeting of the Delta County Commissioners is being held this date pursuant to the following call. In a letter to the Commissioners dated December 30th, 2025, and reading as follows. The Honorable Members of the Delta County Board of Commissioners, dear Commissioners, a reorganizational meeting of the Delta County Board of Commissioners is scheduled for Tuesday, January 6th, 2026 at 5:15 p.m. in the conference room at the Delta County Service Center. Sincerely yours, Nancy Pezrocki, Delta County Clerk. Please rise for a word of prayer. Lord, as we begin this meeting, we are thankful for our many blessings. We ask for guidance to help our commissioners make decisions in the best interest of the citizens of our county. And Lord, we pray for the safety of our military men and women and our first responders. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Commissioner Melner?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Commissioner Vangenhoven?
Here.
And Commissioner Jensen.
Here.
Okay. I now call this meeting to order, and our first agenda item is election of the board chair. I am going to open the floor for any nominations for board chair.
I would like to nominate myself for board chair.
And I also will nominate myself for board chair.
Okay.
I'll nominate John Melner for board chair.
Are there any other nominations?
I will nominate myself for board chair.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? And a third time, are there any other nominations? We can do this secret ballot. So I'm going to hand out a ballot.
We
and-
have to vote it for secret ballot.
Oh, okay.
It has to
All
be a
right.
majority.
Would anybody care to have a secret ballot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor of a secret ballot?
Aye.
Those opposed?
I oppose.
Okay.
It just takes a majority, though, so.
Well, we don't have a majority. So I've never had this happen before. I think we take another vote, but
Are there ties within there? Is
Well-
there anyone who has one?
well, there's three people who have one, and then there's one person who has two.
Okay, gotcha, so. So we would have to revote, okay.
Has to be at least three.
Paper.
Right.
we have the same thing. So it looks like I'm going to be board chair. Just joking, just joking. I'm not sure how many times we do this, but
It's, you have to keep going.
I am not going to change my vote.
what's that?
I am not going to change my vote.
Okay.
I'd just like that to be known.
Okay. So we do have a majority. We have 3 votes for John Melner. So John Melner is the board chair for 2026. And so I hand the meeting over to you.
Okay. We will now have election for vice chair. Do I have any nominations for vice chair? I will nominate Pat Johnson, Commissioner Johnson.
I will nominate Christine Williams.
Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, it's between Commissioner Williams and Commissioner Johnson. How would you like to vote?
Roll call?
Roll call? Okay. For,
Are either of those people willing to serve as vice chair?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
We have a roll call. Commissioner Melner,
Commissioner Johnson.
Johnson,
Johnson?
Williams,
Williams.
Vankenhoven,
Williams.
and Jensen.
Johnson.
Okay, so we have a new vice chair, Commissioner Johnson.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Good luck, gentlemen.
B is the adoption of rules and procedures. Proposal amendment. Let's see. That is on 1.25. Rules of procedure. Is there any motion to accept?
It's 5.2.
5.25.
Yeah, do you,
And there is, let's see here.
I would make a motion to accept the changes to the rules of procedure for section 5.2, the agenda,
I'll support.
as presented, sorry.
Sorry, I'll support.
Discussion. Is there any discussion? 5.2.
I did have one question, if I may. The, where we're briefly writing a description, like, what are we looking for in that description? Are we looking for a paragraph, a sentence, and then are we gonna be including a brief description for all the agenda items?
Yeah, I think that's very similar to what we've found at this meeting that the administrator has done for us, is there is now a form that's attached for each agenda item, so there's a small description of what that agenda item pertains to, so that we know ahead of the meeting why that came to be and what it is.
So basically, the purpose is, if I understand right, so that we have less of an introduction by the person who introduced the agenda item.
Well, you might have, it's less of an introduction from the administrator. The administrator doesn't have to give the introduction for that agenda item. We know what that agenda item is and what its intent is from the description, so.
So in the past, it seems as though, like, if a commissioner introduced the agenda item, the commissioner gave the introduction to that agenda item.
And that makes perfect sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I would assume that we would continue to do
Okay,
that,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, any more discussion?
No, I like the new form.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's great.
We have a motion, we got a second, we had discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Now, proposal on amendments, did that all go together on that?
I did have one thing I wanted to talk about. So with looking at, and Commissioner Williams and I discussed this when we met with our administrator, we do have kind of a discrepancy between our item 4.9, or sorry, 4.5.
I'm sorry, real quick, point of order. There's a second item on the agenda that pertains to the rules of procedure, a new item.
Is that what your
Yeah.
question is about?
Yeah, so that's section 6.2. Is that, it should be on our agenda, so if you, I have the old printed agenda, so. The agenda should have, do you have the new one?
Is that on
have-
the,
No, it just has
Disclosure?
proposed amendments.
Oh,
There are
there's two proposed amendments.
Each have to be a separate motion.
Yeah.
Because they're pertaining to different parts in the rules of procedure.
Right, but they were brought, the two that should be discussed tonight before any new ones are discussed are the ones that were at the previous meeting. So that's what I'm
so
getting
is
at.
that 5.2?
No.
No, it's-
6.2.
6.2.
So there's a new rule that was being proposed. It's an additional rule, and it's the disclosure of correspondence requests. That was given to you at the last meeting.
I see. And I missed it. I thought, I was looking at the yellow and I'm like, okay, all the changes are in yellow. I missed the
The new one?
print.
Yeah, there's no yellow because it's brand new.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the disclosure of correspondence requests. And the purpose of that, I laid out the purpose and how it's applicable, but the purpose is to ensure transparency, professionalism, and mutual awareness when commissioners request access to correspondence involving other commissioners or county staff. But what I also think I need to add in there, and I didn't originally, was it's all commissioners, elected officials, and county staff. So it should read it should be all elected officials and staff. So if one of us, outside of FOIA, requests information about another or staff, that we have to disclose that. So it gives equal footing to the person whose information is being sought and the person who is seeking the information. It puts you on level playing field. And I can see that it wasn't read. So I don't know how to proceed if you haven't had a chance to
No,
look
I
at
just
this.
needed
Yeah,
a second.
I kind of
Okay.
was just looking at for
Okay.
the orange also.
Move to approve.
I'll support.
Any discussion on this?
You need more time to read through?
With the, quick question, what if the commissioner doesn't want to know?
Is the commissioner in that scenario?
So like, let's say you wanted to find something on me and I'm like, I don't care if you look or not and I don't need to know because go
Well,
ahead and
then
look.
just ignore the email. Delete the email if you don't care.
Well, once it's there, it's there.
Okay, that's like saying, once you have every spam email, you're gonna just keep it and like review, I mean, it doesn't
Well,
make any
true,
sense.
but-
You don't wanna look at it, don't look at it.
But then we get in the habit of deleting emails that might be important, like county emails, they always get a look.
Wow, okay.
But other emails don't get a look, it's like, oh, that's from that. So that's just the fear.
Okay, well, that would be, I mean, it's something you'll have to manage yourself.
Sure.
I mean, I think that it's important that we're transparent, and when we're looking for information, that we provide each other enough information that we can rebut something or, provide explanation or whatever it might be. I think it's absolutely fair that, this is outside of FOIA, so you can obviously FOIA to your heart's content. This is outside of FOIA. And so if you ask for this information outside of FOIA, that you have to disclose it.
And we're looking at only FOIA-able things, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Like, so this is our workaround FOIA basically, and just saying we're disclosing it, but we're not going after like things that normally we couldn't get without FOIA, correct?
I'm not sure, I'm trying to follow.
So, like, let's say I FOIA your emails, or let's say I ask for your emails. Either way, with this, I'm going to be disclosing, or we're going to be disclosing that I'm going for your emails and I'm looking at your emails. Now, let's say this was a phone call. I can't get at your phone call, correct?
Right, it specifically states what we're talking about, and this would be correspondence.
Yep.
So this would be letters, memos, texts, emails, things that are written,
Okay,
yeah.
just getting clarification.
I mean, the only way you can get to my phone calls would be if you have a subpoena. I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, or a warrant. I mean, that's a completely different subject, so.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. So we move on to number 4.
Have we adopted the rules of procedure as a whole?
No.
No.
Nope.
We need to do that.
Oh, okay.
Or bring forward, we have to adopt and then bring forward any new changes we might want to make for the next meeting.
Is there any, can I get a motion to adopt?
I'll make a motion to adopt the rules with with the addition of the new rule and the amendments to the section 5.2.
Can I get support?
Support.
Any discussion on all of them? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Okay, I think we got them all done now. Number 6.
Well,
is
now the,
Huh?
What?
now the introduction of anything new, correct?
Yeah, so
Okay.
now if there's
Oh.
any additional changes that we want to make, this would be your opportunity to give the 10-day notice, and then we would deal with it at the next meeting.
Perfect. So,
Okay. Is there a motion to,
I think all I have to do is just say I'd like to introduce.
Yes.
okay,
All right, so I'd like to introduce. Well, I'm looking at 4.5. Commissioner Williams and I met with Administrator DeSalvo, and she brought up some really good points. It seemed a little conflicting to me as far as if you look at 4.51, and it says that we're going to have, basically, we're going to have department heads as commissioners, or like a chair and a vice chair of the 5 different departments.
Yeah.
Yet if we look earlier, if we look at, let me see. If you look at the chair and the responsibilities of the chair, it'd be on page 8, the very top one. It says, "The chair shall reserve in such capacities and make appointments as the law shall require." And then we also say, I want to say, and that one's a statute. And to me, that one kind of conflicts with how we assign board assignments. If we're supposed to have one person for each department, or two people, because a chair and a vice chair for each department, that doesn't quite coincide with what the chair does for making the appointments the way we do, and the way it says that it's doing. So, my proposal would be to strike 4.5. And then just to review in 10 days.
So that would be applicable to next year then? Because we're required at our January meeting to make our assignments. And we are making our assignments based on the rules of procedure that we have in place that have been adopted. So if this change is to be made, then that would be it would be relative to the next January meeting.
Or we postpone those board assignments. And then which set of rules do we follow? Do we follow that we're making department heads today? Or do we follow that the board chair is doing the committee assignments today?
I would say that we follow our rules of procedure, and our rules of procedure specifically state that we have 5 departments. Those 5 departments have a chair and a vice chair, which makes sense to me because what we struggle with at these meetings, at every January meeting, is this big list of committees and trying to assign all these different committees. And what the rules of procedure say are actually very efficient and very clear. You assign a chair and a vice chair, that's it, you're done. Your vice chair and your chair are the ones who figure out how the committees and the agencies and the commissions and so forth under their department, how those actually get assigned. And you as a commissioner can say, I want to serve on such and such committee in this other department that's not your department that you're a vice chair and chair for, no problem. They just consider the vice chair and chair of that department considers the input they take from the commissioners at this meeting and then figure out how their committees are going to be assigned. So it makes perfect sense because it's the most efficient way to do it. The way we do it is very inefficient. It doesn't make sense to me. So our rules of procedure, I think, are very clear, and I think we should be following them. We didn't follow them this last January, but I think that's because we haven't followed them for a while. We have this weird way of doing committee assignments, and I don't know where that came from.
Well, and then I'm looking at 4.1.2, and I'm looking at, again,
I'm sorry, 4.1.2?
4.1.2, duties. And I'm looking on page 8, kind of midway up.
Yeah, upon his or her election, a
Yep.
subject, that right there.
Yep.
So, and subject to the approval of the majority of the members, the board shall proceed to appoint all standing and special committees. So standing and special committees have very specific, they're specifically defined in here. They are not the department committees. They are standing and special committees. So it's very clear that those committees, and I think there's 3 of them in our rules of procedure, those have those are assigned specially, the opioid task force, the
Library.
emergency preparedness, library liaison, those are the committees that, and there's 3 of them. So again, very efficient. You have 3 committees that you're assigning, that a chair is having to assign people to, but the others, the vice chair and the chair of each of those departments, it's their duty, it's their responsibility to get those committees assigned. And they could do that right after the meeting, because it's not a majority. So you're not violating OMA. So you sit together, you decide how you want to divvy stuff up, and then you let the administration know that night or the next morning, and all the committees are already taken care of.
What I also didn't notice, and why it seems like the two kind of butt heads with each other, is what happens if the chair disagrees with the vice chair of that department?
In the department, so the chair and the vice chair aren't agreeing?
So we're trying to figure out what committees to put the people on, and the chair and the vice chair disagree.
Well, I think at that point, you probably would just have to bring it back to the full board, but it's the chair and the vice chair's responsibility to figure out their committees within their department. I mean, it's very clear.
But that's not in our rules and procedure to bring it back.
Well, you've given me a scenario that
Right.
is like, what if? I mean, we could what if stuff to death, right? But what if, I don't know, because there's nothing in our rules of procedure, but I would assume that if a chair and a vice chair of a department can't figure out how to make their department committees work, then the full board has to get involved. I don't know, because it's not in our rules of procedure.
Right, and so that's why I'm saying that seems a little outdated, like even the language seems a little outdated. That it was something of, I would say, boards way, way past, and since we haven't done any in forever, that I would say that it definitely needed a look at, and that, to me, the 4.5 butts with what's said above.
It doesn't at all. What's said above is very clear. It says standing and special committees are assigned by the chair. There are 3 of those committees. That's very clear. I mean, I think you want it to say something that it doesn't say,
I
but
could say that for both of us.
no. No, not at all. I mean, I'm reading this it's very clear. It says, in the interests of efficient and effective administration and supervision of board responsibilities and of service to the people of Delta County, all county offices, committees, commissions, boards, agencies shall be grouped under one of the following 5 department headings. And department assignments and responsibilities shall be as follows unless otherwise designated by action of the Board of Commissioners. And there's five things listed, and then after that, it says it's the responsibility of the chair and the vice chair to determine how the committees and boards and commissions and agencies are to be assigned.
So there's, I guess, one little hiccup I would foresee in that, and it's the depth and the amount that are in each of those. So if you take, and I'm gonna shorten this from 5.1 to just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s after that. So if you have administrative services, there's 2 committees, I believe, in it. So if you're the one person that's in charge of those 2, and you pick 1, 2, 3, 4 people, it's not necessarily, you're not gonna know who then you're appointing to the other ones, especially when you get down to public safety or human development or physical economic ones. I think you start to have a very big depth on the amount of different committees that are there. And it's not necessarily any way to determine, that you're not overloading 1 or 2 members with committee assignments, where I think they're probably pretty evenly based.
Yeah, and they could stay as they are right now and just assign the chair and the vice chair to each of the departments as we are required to do. I mean, committees can stay exactly as they are right now with a vice chair and a chair and a vice chair per department. That's all we have to do is assign the department's requirement in our rules of procedure that there's a chair and a vice chair, and that the chair acts as sort of the liaison between that department and the board. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it does make sense. The rules of procedure actually do make sense, to me at least.
So if I may,
Yeah.
yes, okay. So these rules of procedure have been in effect for a long time. There is nothing that has been changed with them. So I'm wondering why now you would like to see this change.
Because the attention was brought to it. So when I was reading this in the beginning, when I first got on the board, I read down, I was like,
This year or past?
no, like 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I would read down and I would say, okay, oh yeah, the chair signs the board positions. That's how it was done. So I said, okay, that's great. And then I read this old language and I'm like, well, that's old. We don't really do that. So we must just not do that.
And you never thought to strike it all those years ago?
Nope. Nope.
Never, every year when you have reorganizational, never thought to restrike it?
No, because it was just the way we did it.
But Okay,
So that's
the way
we
it's always
did it.
been
That's the
done.
way it's always been.
So Patrick, I have a very important question. So you get to this point where it says the board chair, appoints, and then it says standing and special committees. Did you not think to look up what are standing and special committees?
I just assumed it was what we have listed.
It's not, though. There's a very specific meaning for standing and very specific meaning for special.
Sure.
And so, I mean, that's what's important. When you read that the chair has, this responsibility, you should follow through and find out, what are standing and special committees? Because there's only 3 of them, and that makes sense that the chair would assign those, absolutely. Because they don't belong to any department. They're kind of, I don't know, they're a mixed bag or whatever. But that's not what it does not say that the chair will assign every committee. It does not say that. But I'm perfectly fine leaving the committees as they are unless people have,
And that's what
changes.
that was my plan.
Yeah, but I still think we
We'll
have
just-
to, we still have to assign a chair and a vice chair per the departments. That's what our rules say. And it could be very easy. I mean, I've got it right here where, we know who's doing, we know who is on,
I have the list.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the,
I can tell you exactly which commissioners are, majority for each of the departments. I worked it out.
that's what I was looking for. I did too,
Here,
but I
I'll
don't know
give
where
it,
it
I'll
is.
gladly give it to you.
So, I mean, the chair and the vice chair for each of the departments could be as simple as, administrative services, that would be, chair, I'm assuming is chair first on this and
Yes.
vice chair
Mhm.
second? Oh, is this based on the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure, because that's what I based it on. I based it on what, administration sent with the numbers. So the chair would be Van Genhoven, vice chair Johnson for Administrative Services Department. That simple. And then Budget and Finance would be Chair Williams, Vice Chair Jensen. Public Safety and Judicial Services would be Chair Melner, Vice Chair Van Genhoven. Physical Economic Resources Department would be Jensen Chair, Williams Vice Chair. And Human Development Services Department, Johnson Chair, Vice Chair Melner. And then we would just vote that in, and then you can leave committees as they are. I mean, that's all we have to do.
Did we miss physical and economic resources and development departments?
They were
Jensen
swapped,
Williams.
4 and
Okay.
5 were swapped.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I just was reading off.
okay,
of
I was
her
trying to
chart.
follow.
Yeah, it's based on numbers.
So I
So-
would make a motion to assign the chair, vice chair for each of the departments as presented.
Support.
Discussion.
Yeah. And I can pass that down to our clerk if she needs.
I need to see that too.
It was presented to us in an email.
My email's been down for 3 days.
It was before that. And then you could leave committees as are, or people could say, I want to serve on such and such, and we could talk, like you've always done. But at least we have assigned the chair and the vice chair for each of the 5 departments, as our rules state we should.
You need to see that.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a support.
I just need another minute looking at all these.
There's 5, so 5 different chairs, 5 different vice chairs, equally dispersed between the 5 commissioners.
So am I reading it right? It would be, so I'm noticing that the physical, the Workman's Compensation Board would have Jensen and Williams deciding who's on that one.
That board is, it specifically says, and we agreed that it would go to the board chair.
Okay.
So that, if you look at, I think it's like the notes or something, it says board chair, I believe. But anyways, that we decided at the last meeting, because the policy that I had introduced was not accepted, so it goes to the board chair.
Okay,
So
I just want to
there's-
make sure this didn't supersede
Nope.
that.
No.
Okay.
Now, any of the things that say that it's board chair, that board chair serves on it, period. So, and if
And-
it's like, clerk or administrator or what, that's who serves on it.
And keeping in mind that all of our appointments could potentially remain exactly the same, it's just that we would have a chair that we would be able to discuss issues with.
Well, and they're the liaison between
Yeah,
that department
Department
and the
yeah.
board. Yep.
So they can't make decisions on changing anything that's on that, what they're for right now, right?
If we were to agree as a board that we're gonna leave the assignments as is, and then we're all 5 right here, and we agree that that's what we're gonna do, then that's what we would do. If we don't agree on that, then it's up to the chair and the vice chair of that department to figure out who's gonna be assigned to what. I mean, it depends on what direction this board wants to go on that. In my opinion, what's happened in the past is, once the assignments are assigned, then, you stay with them unless you want to, unless someone asks you to give it up. It's sort of like last year, John, with the road commission. I wanted to serve on road commission. I asked if I could serve on road commission. You said, no, I don't want to give that up. So I said, okay, so that's the end of that, So we can do that, but following our rules of procedure, we have to have a chair and a vice chair for each department. That's a requirement of our rules of procedure. And it says that the chair and the vice chair to figure out how they want to, divvy up those assignments. Well, we're all right here right now, so if we agree that we're just gonna leave them as is, then we can do that.
See, there's one thing, and that goes back to what I think it was already brought up in 4.52. In the department chair updates, if you look, actually, there's a lot of comments in there, so let me back up. So right after where it has the regular meeting in January of each year, designate one of the members as chair and vice chair as
Where are
the
you?
discussion.
Where are
4.52.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep.
There, okay, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Designate one of the members as chair and vice chair for each of the above-named departments who shall serve as board coordinator, comma, and supervisor for the county offices, committees, and activities within that department, except as the board shall otherwise direct. There's a little hiccup in there if you start looking through, where was it here? Well, you have the road commission, who doesn't answer to us, the drain commissioner. Those are 2 right here.
Right, those have never been assigned. They're just in that grouping.
Right, but
Right.
if you look at public safety, from the prosecutor, the sheriff, those are both elected offices as well.
Oh, yeah.
So you're stating in that paragraph that you are the coordinator and/or supervisor for those county departments. Well, how, you can't supersede another elected official's office.
Yeah, and I.
So, I mean,
I
that
understand, yeah.
paragraph doesn't work. You know, if it's just a liaison and, you know, if there's issues, you know, stuff that you can help them with, stuff to make their
Well,
job
it's,
easier.
the next paragraph, the board department chairs, where practical, shall be appointed to serve as members to committees, boards, agencies, and commissions within their department. Nothing in this section shall preclude a board member from serving on committees in other areas, that's what we were just
Yep.
talking about. Those designated as his or her area of responsibility by virtue of being named a department chair.
And,
So,
you know, if it's that as a liaison, that's one thing, but it says, and supervisor for those offices, that,
yeah, I agree, that would be something
you
that
can't.
could be stricken at a later date.
So, any more discussion? We got the motion on this. We got a support. We're in discussion.
So are you, as the board chair, are you supposed to be making these assignments for chair and vice chair of each committee?
This is the first time I've heard of it.
But
Well, I
is
mean,
that-
for each committee, yes.
Or
But
but for each department, for each of the 5
each
departments?
department,
Board chair with board approval.
I
So
would
you're
s-
supposed to be setting the chair and the vice chair. It doesn't need to come to a vote, according to my opinion on reading this.
Yeah, but nobody knew they had to do it,
Well,
It's
true,
actually.
but so-
except for people who,
So we have a hiccup. Again,
I don't know
Yeah.
how, okay.
No,
whatever.
it says, department assignments, responsibilities, otherwise, all committees. Yep, so it says the board chair with board approval shall at their regular meeting in January of each year designate one of their members as chair and vice chair for each of the above-named departments. So that's why that was handed out, is you could go by how we've already divvied up the assignments. That's what was put on that sheet, is how they're already divvied up. But yeah, the board chair is the one who assigns the chair and the vice chair.
so my question to board chair is that what you wish to present to us? I feel like procedurally, we went and we did from, I can't remember what commissioner introduced it. Commissioner
It's-
Williams.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Van Genhoven.
Oh, Commissioner Van Genhoven.
No, I supported.
No, but, so, either way.
Oh,
it
the
didn't-
motion.
The
I
motion,
motioned.
okay.
Yeah,
But the chair should be the one introducing it, and then we accept it, and the chair didn't introduce that list.
I was helping the chair out, but yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm
You
asking
can-
is
We can remove
that
the
what?
motion and you can re-motion.
The clerk may have a insight for procedure.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, it does say at the regular meeting. It does say at the regular meeting, this is the reorganizational meeting, so he doesn't have to do it actually until the next meeting.
It's the first meeting in January.
Yeah. Well, it says regular, so.
It says the first meeting in January. The first regular meeting in January or first meeting in January.
It just says the regular meeting is what it says.
this is a reorganization, so is that regular, or is that something?
This is
special?
reorganization.
Unbelievable.
You can just keep confusing.
Well, I'm saying you don't have to do it at this minute. is
Well,
what I'm
but
saying.
we do.
We're still in discussion, as my discussion, I would say, why don't we just leave the job assignments as is, and I'll change the chair and vice chair in each department, and we can vote on that next meeting.
Well, why would you change them. I did them in order of who sits on the most right now, and if we're not gonna change anything, then why wouldn't you just accept them the way they are? It's black and white. It's all based on the numbers.
It's the chair's privilege, though.
Oh, God.
So logistically, is this from, I have a question for you. This is not a regular meeting.
That's our reorganizational meeting.
Okay,
Okay, what?
we'll go with what's written here.
So are you introducing that then? So I need to remove my motion because I have a motion on
Yes.
the floor.
I'll
so.
remove my support.
Well, you still could, I guess you could still make your motion as, no?
He
Nope,
has to do it.
He has to.
He has to make the
introduction.
motion?
The chair does.
He
Well,
can
that's what you
introduce,
just
well, no,
said.
I'm saying that he introduces it, like. it
And then
didn't-
you want me to make the motion to accept his introduction?
If you saw, well, to say, this is what I've presented, this is what I would like, done, and then we basically ratify it. So the motion would be to ratify the chair's
No.
decision.
I'm
No?
gonna disagree.
Okay.
I don't believe that's procedurally.
Yeah, I don't think
All
so
right.
either.
So you want the chair to make the motion?
I will make a motion that the board assignments and the chair and vice chair per department should stand as written,
As presented, or
as
you'll,
presented.
okay. Do you want to read them
But
off?
you're gonna have to read them off because it hasn't been presented because the motion was rescinded.
Okay, on the ethics, it would be Melner.
No, no, no.
Oh,
just
you
the
mean here?
departments.
The
The
departments.
Just what's highlighted.
Administration Service Department is Vanden Hoven and Johnson. Budget and Finance is, where?
Administration.
Yeah, then Budget and
Yeah,
Finance.
that's.
Sorry,
that was-
you're
he-
right,
he
you're
was
right, sorry.
Yeah,
I was looking at,
is
Down there.
Commissioner Williams and Commissioner Jensen. Public Safety Judicial Services Department is Melner and Vanden Hoven.
Van Genhoven. Van Genhoven.
Physician and Economic Resource Department is Jensen and Williams. And Human Development Service Department is Johnson and Melner.
That's all.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Wow.
No, wow.
That was a long one.
Now, are we making introductions for changes?
None for me?
No.
Is there,
Oh, for the
Rules of procedure.
rules of procedure for the following year.
Yeah.
So,
Strike, what was it?
4.5.
In its entirety?
I believe so, and introduce what we were doing before, that the chair makes the appointments to all committees with the ratification of the board, or the approval of the board.
I'd like,
Are you going to put something together and give it to us so we,
Sure,
or it's,
I can throw that together. I mean, it's one sentence, really.
yeah. Are you interested in making an addition to that where commissioners who currently retain the seats on those committees have the authority to make the decision whether or not someone can take their spot? So like, remember when you wanted solid waste and I said, no, thank you, I'd like to stay on that, and you're like, okay, I'm good with that. So are we gonna continue that way as well?
I would say no, because At the time, I wasn't good with it. I was like, I didn't have a choice.
No.
So I can't say I was good with it, but, no, I would say it's still up to the chair. So I can put something together for next meeting.
So you want it to be that the chair has the ultimate authority to decide who sits on every committee
With the ratification of the board.
with the ratification
Or
of
the
the
approval of the board.
board.
So this goes back to pre-January of last year, when the chair had full power to assign and unassign people on committees. And we, at the January meeting last year, said, no, we don't want that.
That it needed to be ratified by the board.
No.
I
we
thought
s-
that's,
No, if you listen to the meeting, we talked about that, and we actually had a couple of different committees where we had discussion about changes, but we said, no, it was up to the commissioner who was on that committee. The chair did not have the ultimate power and authority to say yes or no, but the chair entertained commissioners asking or requesting that they could serve on a committee that another commissioner was already serving on.
Yeah,
But it-
Right.
our board chair was very specific. He
Yeah.
said if a commissioner is sitting on a board, they have first dibs, and then another person can come on, but they have the ultimate deciding factor. So like Christine said, she wanted to be on road commission. John had a long-standing seat on road commission. He said, no, I'm gonna stay on it. I wanted to stay on solid waste because I had been on it. You said you would like it. I said, no, thank you. But then there were also times when Commissioner Williams, she wanted to be on Park and Rec Commission, and I said, okay, I'm on Park and Rec Commission along with Commissioner Jensen. He didn't want to give up his seat, so then I allocated my seat to Commissioner Williams, but I didn't have to do that. I could have said, no, I'm sorry, I want to stay on Park and Rec Commission. So it's making it more of a fluid and collaborative effort on who's deciding, or on who is sitting on which committee. And it makes it more equitable because technically our board chair has no more power than any of us board by written in statute. He can sign things, he has the tie-break vote, but as far as we are equal. And so granting him the supreme authority, whether it be just this year or dependent on who the chair is in the future, I have a really big problem with if we're supposed to all be equals.
And I would just add that I like the way the rules and procedure are right now, so although I look forward to, some kind of amendment to this, like what you're proposing, but I think the way that the rules of procedure are written right now are really quite clear. I think that if we actually followed them, we would be more efficient. But we're not following them, and we're doing this weird thing where we're defining all these committees, and it's just, I'm fine with how it's taking place right now, but it is very efficient if you look at how it was put together. So,
So like, for example, Christine Williams, Commissioner Williams is the liaison to the Planning and Zoning Department. But she doesn't sit on the Planning Commission, Commissioner Jensen does. So you have two different commissioners handling one department, where if you have this rules of follow these rules of procedure, it's all gonna be streamlined. And so, like, I sit on Conservation District, but I don't sit on Park and Rec. But that, so it's just, it's all over the place, and this is a way to this is the way we should have been doing it all along. But I look forward to reading what you have coming forward too. So you're not willing to make an addition that the board
makes the decisions.
makes the decisions, not the board chair?
No. I think one thing that all of this is probably pointed out, like I pointed out in 4.52, the other comments in there, this is bigger than one separate meeting, that we should make a serious consideration of picking another date, sooner rather than later, of having and list it as a special meeting where it's only this, there's no other business discussed, let it be a work group. And that's all it's discussed, and we can go through line by line on one of those.
Are you talking about rules of procedure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd be for that.
I would welcome that. I think
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
great.
Excellent. Oh, you never have to deal with this again.
Until next year.
Till next year, right?
For next year. But as it is right now, it'll all stay to pretty much what we just elected, right?
So are you talking about the committees, John?
Yes.
You want
I'm
all
a-
of the committees to remain the same?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would think we just want to make that statement, and we, as commissioners, we all now have our vice chair and chair assignments. We just all agree to that, and we do that. Otherwise, we say, no, I want to make changes. And if you want to make changes then, within your department, then you're going to do that. But, yeah, John, you could, yeah, you could just say, keep the same.
We will keep the same assignments for this year until we get the next meeting, work meeting on board assignment approvals or board assignments.
I'm sorry, what?
Right? We're gonna have another meeting.
No.
No, no.
This
Special
is,
meeting?
the special meeting I was making reference to
Okay.
was just for going through the policies and procedures.
Oh,
That
Going
was
through
it.
the
It has
whole
nothing
thing.
to do with
Okay.
the chair and vice chair
Okay.
assignments nor
Okay.
committee positions.
I misunderstood the
Nope,
way you
that's
were
okay.
saying that. So, all the assignments will stay the same as last year.
And from my department's perspective, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Same.
Same.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Oh, you want support?
I'll support you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wow, motion passed.
Yes.
That was two long ones in a row. Okay, I need a motion to go out of regular
No.
meeting.
No.
No?
Public hearing.
I would
Public
move
hearing.
that we open the public hearing for the 5-year recreation plan.
Support.
Okay,
Roll call.
Roll
all in
call.
favor?
Well, we need a roll call.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams,
Sorry, yes.
sorry, Commissioner Van Genhoven.
Yes.
And Commissioner Jensen,
Yes.
One more.
and Commissioner
think-
Melner.
I was gonna say. Yes. Okay. Public hearing is open. Anybody would like to speak, please give your name and where
Yes,
you're
please.
from. Please come up to the, oh yeah, we still have, we gonna still have 3 minutes?
Do we?
Yeah.
Let's change the subject to summertime and boats and having
Great.
fun and stuff like that. That's much more fun to talk about.
I don't think anybody's gonna object.
My name is Jeff Malepsky. I come from Nema Township. I am the president of the Fairport Sport Fishing Association. Oddly enough, we just started this last October in the hopes of improving access to the Big Bay Denac, the islands down there, the tremendous salmon fishery that we have. You'll have to excuse me, I'm not very good at speaking in
Oh, you're doing great.
in public. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to hear some of the concerns that we have about access to such a great area, that it would help our businesses out there on that side of the county. It would allow a lot of other people to enjoy the scenery and the resources that the state is involved with fish planting and things like that to keep us going and keep, see, I lost what I'm saying there. Let me just hit some of my points here. There are 5 boat launches on Big Bay Denac, if you could call them boat launches. Every boat launch has extremely been neglected throughout the years. And to get a decent-sized boat with lake levels these days in there, no matter what your use of the lake and resource is just about impossible. Fish Dam, Olgance, Fayette, those are all really, I would call them rough landings. We need better access. To the billion-dollar industry of salmon, We have large boats. We have upwards of 30-foot boats. There is no access to not only launch and land a boat safely and properly, but then to have the parking lot to park your rig. There's nothing like that out there. The western shore of the bay, Little Bay, Denac and whatnot, has some great facilities. But that's 26 miles by boat from Escanaba or Gladstone. And then if you come from the north, that's Nema, and that's still 26 miles, 23 to 26 miles. That's fine if you can get there, but you're not always allowed a safe return back. We all know that the lake can get really rough at certain times. We had this experience last year. I'm looking at the end of my thing. I have some other friends that are going to get right in here behind me, so I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Dylan Holzenkamp. I am the Vice President of the Fairport Sport Fishing Association. I am from Masonville Township. I would also like to touch base on the non-access to the public waterways of the Garden Peninsula. There is no real usable access for people that have any boats upwards of 23 feet and larger because of water levels, non-maintained accesses. Primarily, we were looking at the developmental plan for Sac Bay. Sac Bay provides a majority of natural protection from the weather. Not only would we like a better access, a marina would be nice. A marina would probably fill up there every single summer just with the amount of traffic that goes down there for the salmon fishing. One of the other reasons that we're looking for public access, there's a great need for it as the only southern accesses that are down on the Garden Peninsula are private. And there is constant threats of those private accesses being closed to the public. Jeff mentioned, distance from the nearest port. We had an issue last summer where we were in a tournament out there, out off of Fairport, and there was a storm that blew up. 60+ mile an hour winds in a matter of seconds. And there's no safe place to hide from that. That's near. So that's another point. The volume of people down there that in the summer cannot be supported by these private accesses. Just simply can't. There's also it's not just access for fishermen, it's access for all recreational water sports activities, things in that nature. And then also there is not one priority project to add public access to waterways in the developmental plan, not one. And that is an area that could greatly benefit from it. That's all I really have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Chris Kuchar, Wells Township. I'm the secretary of Fairport Sport Fishing Association, and yeah, we need better public access down in Sac Bay or Fairport for the things we like to do: boating, kayaking, swimming. Access to the water is tremendous down there, and there's not, like they said, not good access. They touched most of the bases on that, and I can't really cover any more. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Al Ettenhofer, and I am here to talk about the problems that we've had. Last time I spoke to you people, it was actually about trying to get a copy, an error-free copy of the Parks and Recreation Survey, and I got nothing but a runaround. And actually, it was very funny that some of the environmentalists and the anti-hunting groups actually got contacted, and we got nothing. I actually offered to print everything, to mail everything. We actually had a banquet on May 17th, and you come up with a date, a deadline date of May 16th. How about that? And I offered to get the information to you the very next day, and we got nothing. We actually, going over, I was at the meetings where they went over all the different questions and everything, and all the people came, the biggest amount of people came from Escanaba. And actually, the big thing was, well, in this plan here, it actually states 195 people a day go out to Delta County Forest according to the survey. There's no way in heck 195 people go out there per day. It's the way the questions were actually asked to go to a certain point, okay? This in itself, me just going over it, and I'm not an expert, there's all kinds of errors in this thing. You people have a lot of work to do yet, and to consider the god-darn general public. We worked our butts off out there. And I will take and go over that on the next 3-minute session. But you people really have to take and look at what the hell you're doing. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Heather Leduc, Wells Township and Delta County Parks Manager. I just wanted to come up here and first off say that I came in to the parks in June, and this was already going with the 5-year rec plan, and it was very daunting. And there's a lot of work that I saw being done, and I was inspired by it. So I just wanted to thank and recognize the Parks and Rec Commission members, the commissioners, because I know that there's 10 of you, and you guys gave your heart and your energy and your spirit and your efforts, and I saw the work that was being done, the commissioners that came to the parks and were using their own time to go out and survey the public, going to grocery stores, sitting at the fair, going to schools and talking to the youth. And so I was really impressed by it. And I believe that you really, and the commissioners that aren't here, really tried to capture the interests and the suggestions of the public, of all the public. And so I wanted to recognize the Parks and Rec Board first. And then I also wanted to recognize the public that participated and just let it sink in, that from what we heard from QPAD, this 5-year rec plan had the most, like the highest response of any county in the UP, which is really incredible when you think about it. It is the highest response of any recreation plan, is Delta County's 5-year rec plan. So I'm sorry, maybe we have more work to do, but we have a really great start. And I think we're getting to where we can actually start to make changes. And I can assure you that as the parks manager, I am listening. And we already have some changes that are in the works that you'll see come to fruition, and we welcome more. So I just wanted to say that you guys all inspired me as a public. I feel that Delta County is a very special place, and it was shown with the survey results. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Josh Malewski, and I'm a member of the Fairport Sport Fishing Association. One thing we tried to touch on earlier was the reason we're kind of focused on Sac Bay is it's the closest and literally the only state-run or county-run facility in that area. One of the biggest things that we enjoy about it, well, that we really like to harp on is it's all sand. So it's not a whole lot of blasting or major renovations would have to be done to make it actually viable for what we're trying to do. I mean, down in Fairport and Fayette and the whole area, we have a lot of support with like the Stapletons and a whole bunch of people down there that are really looking forward to having something done down there to help everybody out. I mean, the garden house and the mini mart down there, all those businesses really thrive on our summertime fishing and recreation down there. And if we can get a little help down there to try to move things along, that'd be really great. We'd really appreciate that, so, thank you much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for giving us the opportunity to comment on the five-year park plan. As we all know, you can't get anything out in 3 minutes. So I'm just going to go over some quick things, but now that I know who the chairman's going to be from this point on, I'll get him a page-by-page description of the number and what I see. Starting with the
Can you
planning
please
process.
state your name and where you're from?
Oh, sorry about that. Rory Mattson, Cornell Township.
Thank
Where I
you.
have my property. Starting with page 3, the planning process, if you go to number 5, 6, 7, and 8, that was not totally done the way it's laid out in a Open Meetings Act format. If you look at the parks themselves, I think almost every single park except for one, I could be wrong a little bit, does not have the right acreage in the plan. The other thing is Delta County Forest is basically, Mr. Edenhofer has brought up, if you go to the one paragraph, it says, as indicated by survey data showing 195 daily users, the county forest has become one of the most heavily utilized recreational facilities in the county system. This priority reflects the growing demand for natural, non-development recreation areas where people can experience the region's forest ecosystems firsthand. If it just said 195 daily users, I would have thought out of the 700, 195 said it. But the way this is worded and everything that's behind it indicates that there's 195. So I called Ryan. He wasn't in charge during that part. And just before that, it talks about cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. Also, small game is probably the biggest thing out there with the trails. The other thing is, when this county got the grant and was authorized, it was because they got extra points. So the DNR sent me the worksheet on the point system, and that park doesn't have to totally be managed, but it has to be managed. And that was why Delta County got it for whitetail deer, summer and winter range. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There has to be a big component of that, and I don't see it. The other thing is, Wildlife Unlimited and UP Whitetails do have a separate grant that was authorized by the county, a letter from Phil Strom for the county. And these groups, right here where it says additional public input and process, page 54, the stakeholder groups were supposed to be. For 4 to 5 months, we heard UP Whitetails and Wildlife Unlimited. Never, ever were invited to the table, even though they were asked a gazillion times. Other things I see is invasive species control and things, which I'll do. If you go out to Fuller Park, part of the reason that other area was being developed, and I'm guessing people who've been out there to look, in the center, the two biggest plants, from this big to big, are invasive buckthorn and also poison ivy, and I don't see one word in anything about addressing it in the action plan.
I'm Dana Van Affen from Escanaba. I just want to remind this board that on May 16th, 2023, that the previous board, at the recommendation of Rory Mattson, canceled an almost $100,000 grant for political reasons for the Rapid River Falls. So I'd like you to keep that in mind when you're listening to him.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Bob Barron, Escanaba Township. I was looking at this plan. The Commissioner Williams has said the Parks and Rec Commission is an independent board. That isn't what it says in this, so per your discussions about reorganizing the different things here, it'd be good to explain what it actually is. If it's different from what it says in here, it says the Parks and Recreation Commission serve as the primary advisory body for the county recreation matters. I don't think it's an autonomous group. I think it's according to what you have in here. So it's bothersome to me that these things, what is it? It's one or the other. I think it should be a board that serves at the pleasure of this board. Also, when it comes to the, just lost my train of thought there, but the commission, this Parks and Rec Board had some excellent people on it, and what we saw was the total stripping of anybody with any knowledge of the park system. And then this new park plan comes up, so with those that had prior knowledge, you just heard from a couple gentlemen that were part of working in this, and they were on that committee, they were removed, and the commission was stripped of any people who had any background. So unfortunately, what you have here is you put together a plan without that solid knowledge that was there. And so we talk about transparency. When you throw away good, solid knowledge, it's for a reason, and it was deliberate to get rid of those individuals. So this whole plan, I think, is lacking that behind it, and it needs to have that, but it doesn't. So there was a good amount of work that was done. It was thrown out. Now we're going to start over. I don't trust this. I'm concerned about there being language in here that's going to come after the private sector, the private landowners, and the history is with me. 50-plus years ago, the EPA was started by a sentence in a bill. That behemoth is what we have today. And is the county going to be reaching out into the private sector? I'm concerned about the language because wordsmiths stick things in there. And plus, when you eliminate the people who had the experience to be able to guide this, it casts a lot of doubt in your process. Thank you.
Well, I'm Sheree Peterson, and I am the host for Fuller Campground, and I would like to say that I felt very welcomed and very comfortable. I used to be a camper for 12 years there, a seasonal, and Heather is doing a fantastic job. She is learning, she is willing to learn, and we have many changes. We had many changes when Pat was there, and we plan to move forward in a positive direction. We are strong women. We know what we want, and we need change. The change is great. It's warm, it's welcoming. You can go on there and read anything that has been posted about our park, and it is fabulous. Do we have problems? Yes, we have problems because they've been ignored for years. So give Heather a chance, okay? This is not very fun when I see somebody being bashed for her kindness and her hard work, and Christine as well. Okay, anybody that's come out to the park has an opinion, and they have listened, and things are changing. But you can't change something overnight, so give her a chance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whitney Maloney, Gladstone. I just want to take this opportunity to remind people that the Parks and Rec committee, that is also an open meeting. So this is like the very last step in this process. And I was able to attend one of those meetings late last year, and I was absolutely floored by what I saw and the work that was done. I had my hand on a lot of different boards and meetings. One of the best run meetings that I've ever witnessed. And I encourage those of you who really have a vested interest in this 5-year plan to attend those meetings. There's public comment there that you can talk about. And these folks are so interested in taking opinion from the public and really serving this community, and they want to hear from you. They really, really want that. So I just want to take this time to remind people that that's also another meeting that you can attend to sort of direct the board and let them know what this community wants, because I would love a marina down at Fairport. That sounds awesome. Thank you.
Any more on the public hearing? Any more discussion on the public hearing?
Joe Kaplan, Ford River Township. The Ford River Township went through a planning process back in 2022 and adopted a recreation plan on January 10th, 2022. And when that happened, I'm going to read how Fuller Park was represented in our township, where O.B. Fuller Park is located, how it was represented in the Ford River Township Recreation Plan. This regional park is located in the southeast edge of the township. It is positioned along Lake Michigan at the mouth of the Bark River. It is managed by Delta County and hosts a day-use area and a campground. The day-use area is a gravel lot with a worn picnic table. It is located on the west side of M35. One of the most frequent community survey comments requested the local community be granted access to the picnic area, boat launch, playground, and beachfront at O.B. Fuller Park. This is not a request the county is willing to entertain, as they do not have the budget to improve facilities and maintain a campground and day-use area along the lake. This is the only expansive lakefront area open to the public within Ford River Township. That struck me as very unusual. I've been associated with 5 rec plans, and I've served as the chair for one of them when I was in Escanaba and also up in the Keweenaw. And I wrote the plan person from QPAD and asked her about that specifically. I tried talking with the local county park manager to see if the township could apply for a joint grant to develop more comprehensive day-use facilities along the lake, as their park offers the only real beach access in the community, and he said no way. And John and Pat, you were on the board at that time, and you were the liaison, Pat, and you allowed no day use. If you weren't a paying customer at O.B. Fuller Park, you couldn't get access to the lake. That was absolutely shameful. And boy, that struck something that some of you rest in your chairs today because of that controversy. And that he was Rory Mattson. It was not Steve Wary. How have we come? We've come very far. And I see at least, 7, 8 gentlemen out there that are asking for waterfront access down on the Garden. I think that that should be incorporated. The last time that this county had adopted a 5-year rec plan was way back in 2016. And the purchase of 1,400 acres at Cornell was a footnote in that plan. But that is where this county has put most of its efforts in the last 10 years, because we've been out of compliance with our rec plan since 2020. Everything's gone into Cornell, and we know who owns most of the roads and access sites at Cornell. Thank you very much.
Anyone else on public hearing? Anyone else on public hearing? Final and last time. Anybody else in public hearing?
Was that open to call in or no?
No,
Okay, thank you.
no, because we only have agenda items and public comment at the
Got
end.
it. Thank
So-
you.
Okay. That time, I need
I would move that we close the public hearing.
Support.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed.
And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who showed up and gave input tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 5, approval of the minutes of previous meeting, county board minutes of 12/16/2025.
I would make a motion to approve the county board meetings for December 16th, 2025.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 6, approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Support.
In favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 7, presentation of written communications received and forwarded.
Move to place on file.
Support.
In favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 8, reports of statutory, special meetings and others. There's none. Number 9, public comment on agenda items. Public comment on the agenda items. Please state your name.
Whitney Maloney, Gladstone. This is actually comically apropos to this moment, but in the rules and procedures, 7.3, under general public comment, at the bottom, B says, if an individual wishes to address the board, the individual's name must be placed on the sign-up list available from the county clerk. Speakers will be called in order of sign-up. So I just want to point out that that's not, I know sometimes there is a sign-up sheet for this
There was.
particular public comment, but
There
this
was.
specifically says general public comment. So I just wanted to point out that that's an inconsistency and perhaps a barrier for people to engage in public comment. So either,
No, there is one. There was one up there.
right, so like I looked for like something when I got here and then I was confused. So either like,
It was up at the
John,
podium.
we shouldn't be
It's-
having
yeah.
dialogue back and forth.
Yeah.
during this.
right, so I just wanted to point out that that's what the rules and procedures say. So if that is the way that this board wants that to happen, I would just suggest making it very easily identifiable for those of us who want to give comments, so we're not kind of coming in here and wondering what to do, where to go, how to sign up, just that kind of thing. I just wanted to point it out. Thank you.
I did announce it several times.
No.
Stop talking.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment on agenda items?
And there's no remote public comment.
There is no remote. Seeing none, we will move
There is a
on.
sign-up sheet, though.
Committee reports. Administrators report.
Thank you. Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Beth Wickwire has resigned effective December 31st, 2025. She requested that I read a statement to the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Melner, Vice Chairwoman Vangenhoven, and Chairman Melner, Vice Chairwoman Vangenhoven, and Commissioners Jensen, Johnson, and Williams. As you know, my employment with the Delta County Prosecutor's Office ended on December 31st, 2025. My husband received a promotion to a new position in St. Paul, Minnesota, so we will be moving in the near future. My last day with the prosecutor's office came quickly and unexpectedly. I was hoping to continue to work into the new year. Although I did not have the chance to address the board in person, I wanted to make sure that you all know how much I have enjoyed working with and for the Board of Commissioners over the past several years. It has been a privilege to work with both the board and Prosecutor Wickman to serve the people of Delta County. I am a native of Iron County, so I have always known that the UP is a special place. However, until I worked here as a public servant in Delta County, I did not fully realize or appreciate the level of commitment, intelligence, authenticity, dedication, kindness, patriotism, and work ethic that is alive and well in the Upper Peninsula. Delta County is truly an exceptional place, and it has been a privilege and honor to work here over the past several years. I am grateful to each of you for helping me grow and learn as both an individual and as an attorney. Delta County will always hold a special place in my heart, and I look forward to continuing to follow its progress and growth under your leadership. Sincerely, Beth Wickwire. The new timesheet software for employees through Dynamic HR, just to give a quick update to the board, within the next couple of weeks, administration will be working with the department heads and employees regarding their time entry into the new software system. It's called iSolve. We're making great strides on getting everything set up with them, getting them county documents that they need, so that we are ready for this switchover. The next payroll that's done will be done through Dynamic HR. If employees have questions, they know to contact administration, and we've sent out notices to them and set up trainings for them as well with the new software. The MIDC Iron County Defender's Office, we've officially begun our partnership with Iron County in our indigent defense. Our lead defense attorney, Daryl Waters, has been in contact with our contracted attorneys and court personnel, has begun handling all administrative duties regarding MIDC. The changeover was successful, and I want to give a special thank you to Attorney Sarah McGregor, who stepped in and she helped bridge that gap for us until Attorney Waters took over. FOIA requests. Each year, our FOIA requests have been steadily increasing. We've ended 2025 with 294 total requests to administration. This is an all-time high. This does include requests that have went straight to the prosecutor's office, sheriff's department, or dispatch center, with the exception of some requests earlier in the year that were not logged directly with administration. And finally, our snowstorm that we had on December 29, 2025, we received a significant snow event, one that we haven't had in quite some time. During this event, over 2,500 residents were without power. And I want to thank all the linemen who were working during that time and getting that up and running. I believe it was 2 days, and all power was restored here for Delta County residents. I also want to give a special thanks to our emergency manager, Paul Geyer. He was continuing to monitor those issues, give updates, and in contact with other departments and entities to make sure that there were no requests for warming shelters during that time. Also want to thank Corey Schroeder, who's our maintenance director, and his crew for the removal of the snow, and our ops employees out at the airport. They did a great job in keeping the runway clear and our airport open as much as it could be during that time. And there were many canceled flights and different schedule barriers that they had to work with, and they did a phenomenal job at that. And I also want to thank our County Road Commission and our city road crew for the work that they did on clearing that snow, and our Road Commission offering special services for EMS during that time to get to people on the outskirts of the county that roads weren't open. They did have a couple of those that they assisted with, and we were able to get to those residents for those individuals who needed the EMS services. So I want to give a special thank you to them too. I think all the county departments worked really well together during that time, kept everybody as safe as we possibly could. And so it was a really good representation of the leadership we have in Delta County and the collaborative work that they do together in making sure behind the scenes that the county is functioning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to put it on file?
I'll move that we place the administrator's report on file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Nancy did come up with the agenda here,
The sign-in sheet.
Sign-in sheet.
sign-in sheet.
And agenda items.
Do you,
Yes. On agenda.
on the agenda items?
Well, that, we're already past that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he missed it.
Yep.
But we do have one, so. Oh, no, do you want to go back and,
Yeah.
Public
I mean, we
comment. You have to have
Yeah,
public
that's
comment.
how you correct
Yeah.
a mistake.
yep. Peter Strum,
He
he's
left.
gone. Terry Winnick, did you want to speak? Winnick? Okay. And Al Ettenhofer, did you want to speak on public comment? You signed up on public
For
comment.
agenda items.
For the agenda items.
It's for agenda items.
Is only for agenda items.
Correct. And it does pertain to, you get it out of the way right now. The agenda item, once again, was there's 2 copies here. They're different. You should have them on file from past years, but I just wanted to renew it so it wouldn't be hard for you to find. But again, my name's Al Ettenhofer. I actually was the grantee for the actual
What's
grant.
the agenda item?
Pardon?
What's the agenda item you're talking about?
It is actually on the recreation plan.
But that was during the public hearing.
That was public hearing only.
Okay, then I'll wait till the end,
Okay.
Okay.
okay? Thank
Okay.
you anyway.
And just for clarification, Terry Wanick, did you want to talk about the
No, he
agenda
said-
No,
item?
he's got,
Yes.
Yep.
He's on the agenda for
He's
new
on the
business,
agenda.
so he
So
can.
he doesn't want to give public comment on the
No.
agenda item?
No.
he'll do it under his section.
Oh.
Rory
Under
was
item 3.
also on the agenda for public public comment on the agenda items. Okay. Okay, we got that one. Number 2, finance minutes of 12/16/25.
These are the corrected minutes from 12/16/25. There was a request from the parks. Was that something that was still going to come forward, or are they doing that in between?
No, Tracy had told me the corrected minutes were because she normally highlights portions in the minutes that are brought forward for motion, action items to the board. And under new business, number 7, it was not highlighted, so she wanted to correct that and put them, so there's nothing, there's no error in what was put in the minutes.
It's just highlighted.
It's just highlighted,
It's highlighted,
yes.
okay. So, one of the items was working with Dispatch and UP CAD. It's part of one of their larger projects, and they will work that through Tyler Technologies. Item, we will cover the next one, which was the Emergency Management Coordinator salary. That'll be number 7 on your agenda. And the other item was at the airport, Train, which is the HVAC company, will actually be changing, they're gonna be doing a control upgrade to the current system. That's one where it'll allow better flexibility for both our employees to be able to do stuff, not just physically there, but remotely, but also for Train to be able to troubleshoot remotely without us having to pay for a service call, so. Is there anything? Okay.
Okay. Can I get a motion to put it on file?
So moved.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Departmental updates. Any departmental updates? Any departmental updates? Seeing none, we will move on to new business and payment of the bills.
I have examined all claims presented and recommend payment of the following, and that the county clerk be directed to issue orders on the county treasurer to the claimants for the amounts allowed. We have a total report of claims of $2,136,237.58.
I would move that we pay our bills.
Support.
Okay. Can I get roll call?
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Genhoven?
Yes.
Commissioner Jensen?
Yes.
And Commissioner Melner?
Yes. Okay, our bills are paid for. Let's see. Number 2, set 2026 meeting dates. Anybody have a problem with the meeting dates that are out there?
I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting dates as they are presented to us.
Support.
Okay. All in favor?
We're gonna have a
Aye.
discussion.
Oh,
You're gonna have a
Sorry.
discussion.
we can have discussion.
Sorry.
I was gonna ask, is that
Okay.
one of those that we wanted to look at the date before, or after one of the statutory meetings? Like we have in the past, or are we gonna just maintain that on here? And if we determine when it gets closer, there's no business that needs to be taken care of, we'll just
I'm okay crossing that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Yep, same here. Any other discussion? We got a motion, we had discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed? Motion pass. Okay, number 3, 2026 contract, Davis Winnick Surveyors.
We have Mr. Wanek here, so he can approach and address the board on this agenda item for you.
Terry Wanick, County Surveyor. Just going to wrap up, let you know where we're at with the project. Last year was the final year of monumentation in the county. To date, 4,418 corners were set, leaving 402 corners left in the county to be set. The project was set to be a 20-year project, and we were in year 32. So they obviously overshot the wilderness factor of the UP. Secondly, because we are finished with monumentation, we're moving on to the perpetual maintenance portion of the program. And what that allows us to do is to revisit the corners that we did back, like starting in 1993, and make sure that they're still under preservation and redo anything that needs to be fixed on them. Good news on that is we're off to a good start. We've got 22 of the 107 that are scheduled for 26 already done, and every monument has been there. We have lost a few trees and a few signposts, but the monuments are all there. So 32 years, and we haven't lost one yet, at least as of this report, so it's good to know. Just you know that we're moving on, and the way the plan is to work is we're going to revisit them as the year we did them. So this year, we're doing everything we did in 93. Next year, we'll do everything we did in 94, and we'll just keep moving on. So it'll be 32 years before we get, well, I'll be long gone in 32 years, but 32 years from now, that part of the project will be visiting what we did this year, so, thank you.
Thank you
Quick
very
question.
much.
Quick question.
Oh,
Mr. Ronick, yeah, quick
Terry.
question.
question.
Are you expected to go faster now that we kind of know where everything is, or is this the
Yes,
same
it's
process?
going to go faster, and we'll be able to get more done per year.
So 31 years instead of 32?
No, I think it's going to go a lot quicker.
All right, awesome. I didn't want to set it.
We're looking for things that were set in the 1850s, so.
Sure.
I mean, all that time goes by, you don't find much of original evidence. So there's a lot of mathematics and procedures to put them back in place, but you still have to go look, you never know. I mean, we did find some original trees from the 1850s that were inscribed, so. There's about 10 in the county that I'm aware of.
So how long do you anticipate it would take now that everything's all set? I mean, just ballpark.
Well, I can tell you, we schedule 107 corners for this coming year, and I know we're gonna, because of budget, I know we're gonna do a lot more than that. We're probably gonna be in the 130s, 140s. Again, we don't have as much money invested into monuments and signs and those things, so it allows us more money to visit more corners.
Nice work, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to accept the contract.
I will make the motion to accept the 2026 contract from Davis and Wanek
Support.
for the remonumentation plan. I was just trying to look up the word, so, sorry.
Still support.
You got support? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 4, Irving transfer request to fill juvenile diversion case working position.
Move approval of request to fill.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 5, retirement of M. Harris.
Hanson.
Hanson, I'm sorry. Request for a lump sum payout.
Move approval.
Support,
All in favor?
and a thank you.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 6, resignation of Whitman.
Wickwire.
Whitmire.
Wire,
Wire.
Wire. request for a lump sum payout and to fill Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
I don't wanna, but I will. I'll make the motion.
And I'll support and send a thank you
Thank
note as
you.
well.
Yeah.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed? Motion passed. Emergency Management Coordinator salary.
I'm gonna make the motion that we offer a base salary of $72,000 to our emergency management coordinator, Paul Geyer.
Can I get?
Yeah, we have to look something up. And we, I mean him, because I'm not connected to the internet and can't seem to get this thing connected to the internet, so. And I have 2 other devices I have to deal with, so I'm not going to play with it anymore.
Change on this one. All right.
Yeah. I see that.
No, I was looking.
No, I was talking to
Oh,
John.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mike,
What are you looking for? Maybe I can help you.
we had stuff, I was trying to pull back up in the finance meeting where we had Ream stuff and what we already knew we could afford.
It's in the agenda, what you can afford, and it's also from the finance meeting where our emergency manager provided you with the details based on.
That's the one I'm
Yeah.
looking for though.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out whether, because this is, your motion is for more than what the finance committee
That's
has
correct.
recommended. So we're just looking up to see whether there was flexibility in that budget to allow for that.
Our administrator can tell us.
Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, there was the spreadsheet, it's in your packet, that the controller had done, and she put 2 different scenarios with the cost of what we could put in the budget. And it came out of finance, was recommended for the 69 base salary, which then would be subject to the COLA increase as well for January 1.
Right, and the recommendation was from administration that we choose the 69, whatever it was, I don't know if there was some change, but it was 69, not the 72.
69 even,
Yep.
plus the COLA increase.
There you go, thank you.
Correct.
Somebody would support it for discussion, I would be able to explain why I made the motion for 72.
I'll support it for discussion.
Thank you.
Discussion.
Okay, so when this was brought forward to the, regarding the meeting minutes at the last meeting, I noticed that this was something that was going to be on the agenda. And what I went through was emergency manager, our emergency manager's letter that he had written regarding the price difference, or the salary differences. And what I noticed was the January 1, 2026 Delta salary differential from other Region 8 full-time EM programs. And what it was based on was county population. However, when I did further analysis, because I dug deep into the differential of the population, we have Menominee of a population of 24,000, and their EM gets 73,206. Houghton and Keweenaw has 39,200 population, their EM gets 74. Delta County is in the middle of those two, closer to Houghton and Keweenaw at a population of 37, and our EM currently makes 65. So what I did was not only take the population out of it, I looked at the square mileage that our EM has to coordinate for coverage, and I found it actually more comparable to the Marquette County, which was at 84,011. I also looked at the amount of different situations, scenarios that our EM handles versus the other county, being that we have an EAS airport that is closer to the water than any other of the county airports that are located within Marquette, Houghton, and Menominee. Our EM is responsible for the water rescue plan formulation. He did that this year. He also started and did a full first year of coordination with the UP State Fairgrounds for their event that they have with the UP State Fair every year. And there were other things as well that he does on top of these other counties that make substantially higher amounts than what the $69,000 was recommended. I also spoke with several of the people that I sit on with EOC, with our Emergency Operations Coordination, and they have said that the Delta County EOC and LEPC are the most well-attended from any local counties in comparison, Houghton, Keweenaw, Menominee, and Marquette, and therefore I feel he is worth the $72,000. It is budgetable. I did speak to our administrator about the increase, and she said it was doable, and that's why I recommend and made the motion for $72,000 versus the $69,000 that was recommended from the Finance Committee, and that's all I have.
So the reason for the 69,000 out there, it's not about the person, it's about the position, and to make those positions equitable. That's not in dispute that our emergency manager isn't worth it. He's shown that time and again in spades. When you want to bring in like Marquette, Menominee, and you only want to look at that position, you also have to consider in there, what's their millage rates at? And they're substantially more than what ours is to work with.
It is
So
budgetable.
I have the floor, hold on. They're not comparable, they are different. When we looked at that, one of the things at the 69, when you added the current COLA in, it comes out to 71.5.
Which is eaten up by insurance rates.
Everything's eaten up by insurance rates. I mean, I don't care what job you're in.
Well, you're giving reasons, I'm giving rebuttals. Go ahead.
I'm just showing you where the reality of the,
Well, my thing's
finance
reality
portion
too.
is.
Question. What's the job description like between Menominee, Marquette, Houghton? Do they have the similar responsibilities? Does one get paid more because they have more responsibilities? Do we know that?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I don't recall.
I would want to know that information, like, does Menominee rope in, like, he also sweeps the floor? Or something, like, does he have more duties than what our EM has? Or does he have less duties?
One thing I do know is from when the EM first came out and came online, the responsibilities have steadily increased over years. It's not one where, okay, yep, we don't do that anymore, let's get rid of it. It's actually increased over time, just as, natural disasters and threats, worldwide come in.
I think it's important too, at the Finance Committee meeting, when we talked with him about this position, he did indicate that, there are things that he does that he just, he wants to do, but he's not asking to be compensated for those. He's compensated for the work that he has to do, the requirements of the position. But that he does do above and beyond what the position is requiring. But
So
that's not what we were compensating.
It does say that in his letter, that a counterpoint in the Upper Peninsula from Gogebic County conducted a wage study for the purpose of negotiations for her position. I'd like to see that wage study.
Another question, if I may. If we have, so we're looking at 71.5, correct, with COLA? Are you going without COLA, or?
I'm doing the base. This was a recommendation of 69 base. I'm doing my motion is 72 base.
And
So
adding
then you have
COLA
to add the
to
COLA
that?
on top of that.
So we're looking at more like 75?
When I did my analysis based on square mileage, based on what each county has as far as potential natural disasters, man-made disasters, things that I see when I go into my EOC meetings. you know, the different workings of townships with township fire departments, the Red Cross. I did a thorough research into this, and that's why I'm very comfortable offering this 72,000 because, you know, I don't know if another county has the person sweep the floors. But what I do know is our EM goes above and beyond. So you know, in his role. So I would like to see that compensation at 72,000 base. And I contacted our administrator and she says it is within the budget to do so.
Any more discussion?
So to answer your question, it was 74.6.
Okay.
If
With
the
the
base
COLA.
is 72 with the current COLA. That was 3.7, I think we used last year, that was not.
Correct.
I would like to see those job descriptions, or at least have finance look at the job descriptions, make sure we're comparing apples to apples.
There's a motion on the floor with support.
Any more discussion? Can we do a roll call vote?
Yes, we can.
There's quite a bit of discussion.
Commissioner Johnson,
No?
Commissioner Williams,
No.
Commissioner Vankenhoven,
Yes.
Commissioner Jensen,
No.
and Chair Melner.
No.
I would make a motion to set the salary of the emergency, why can't I even think about it right now, but emergency manager at 69,000 as recommended from the Finance Committee.
Support.
Any discussion?
I really wish we could have tabled it, so we could have discussed it and saw those job descriptions.
Yeah, he wanted to see the job descriptions. I wanted to see the wage study.
That's all.
Okay. Do another roll call.
Johnson,
No?
Williams,
Yes.
Vankenhoven,
No.
Jensen,
Yes.
and Melner.
No. I want to see the ways that I do it.
Motion to table until we get further information.
Support.
Favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Number 8. Recepting switch and all paid to BSA.
Yes and A.
Switch here.
I would make a motion to accept the contract with BSNA for county receiving services.
Support.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes. I do have discussion. The contract covers, in my opinion, there should be four things that are very clearly outlined in a contract. One is the terms, one is the termination, ability to terminate and what that entails, and then indemnification, which is all in there. The one thing that I have an issue with is the dispute resolution. Typically, the dispute resolution would cover that or state that it's going to be handled within the state of Michigan and specifically within Delta County. This does not. This dispute resolution, it actually references disputes or claims arising under this addendum, but there's no comment or there's nothing about dispute resolution. So I had actually put together something that could be added, and I don't know whether or not we have options here, but that would be my comment about this agreement, that I don't think there's a dispute resolution that is keeping it within the state of Michigan. So we could end up, if we have a dispute, we could end up with Stripe somewhere in Florida having to navigate a dispute, and I don't think we want to do that. So What I had come up with is this agreement shall be governed by and construed in accordance with the laws of the state of Michigan without regard to its conflict of law principles, and the parties agree that any action, suit, or proceeding arising out of this relationship, out of relating to this agreement, shall be brought exclusively in the state courts located in Delta County, Michigan. Each party irrevocably submits to the personal jurisdiction of such courts and waives any objection to venue or forum, including any claim of inconvenience forum. So they can't say, oh, it's an inconvenience for me to have to come to Delta County. Too bad, you're gonna come to Delta County to deal with any sort of dispute. It would be an inconvenience for us if we end up having to go to Florida, you know. So this is just typical language that's in typically in a contract, and I just felt it was missing from this contract. So that's my comment.
Any more discussion?
I was gonna ask, what's our suspense time on that?
I
know
believe
it
that
was-
the contract is only valid for the month of January, until the end of January. So if it was tabled to see if that's something that they would allow, we'd have to bring it back for the January 20th meeting.
Well, I'll vote in favor of it, but I just think that in the future, all contracts need to have a dispute resolution that keeps us in the state of Michigan, if we can. So it would just be something that we should think about in the
Commissioner?
future.
I'd be okay voting no and then just taking care of, I mean, if that puts the ball in our court, excellent. But I'd also like legal to look at it and kind of give us their opinion when we kind of have a little bit more time to get briefed by her.
Okay. So I could remove my motion to accept and make if someone who supported, I don't know who it was, who supported my motion.
I didn't catch who supported it, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did we have a motion?
yeah, I made a motion.
Yeah,
She made a motion, but I didn't catch who seconded it.
I'll rescind the support.
Then I would make a
Yeah.
motion. Make a motion,
I wasn't sure, but I'll rescind it and then
make a motion to table so that we can identify whether or not we can adjust the dispute resolution language.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 9, FOIA appeal, number 25-278.
we're
278.
Well, I would make a motion to uphold the denial on FOIA request 25278. And we'll wait till discussion.
I'll support.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I was going to say that I did reach out to our prosecuting attorney and ask some questions about how the court forms are ingested into the software that the prosecutor uses. And I have a much better understanding of why the information isn't taken from these forms and just ingested right into the data fields in the prosecutor's software. And so I'm comfortable with acknowledging that this information just simply does not exist in their data structure.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 10, FOIA appeal, number 25-286.
This one I have a structural question on. So our rules of procedure do not allow for same-day agenda items being added to our agenda. So I guess I'm asking the question why this is on our agenda for tonight, since it looks like it was received on January 6th, today, at 1:40 a.m. So why isn't it on the next month, or next meeting?
The actual FOIA appeal was received December either 30th or 31st.
Okay.
We received communication from the original requester that was forwarded on, it was received this morning, early this morning,
Okay.
and that was forwarded on to the board before the meeting
So that's
tonight.
why I felt like it was coming in this morning at 1:40, but it actually came in earlier on December 30th.
Correct.
Okay, got it. And so we are just acknowledging that this FOIA appeal has come in.
Yes, you don't have to make a decision on it tonight, it's just accepting
We've
rec-
received the
receipt
appeal.
of the appeal, correct.
Yeah, this particular one, there's just simply not enough information, and it's the sheriff's office. And I mean, I have just had a chance, like this afternoon at noon, to start reading this, so I haven't even had a chance to talk to the sheriff about it. So I would just make a motion to, well, we don't even have to, we just have to accept, we've received this appeal.
Acknowledge receipt.
Acknowledge receipt.
Can I get support?
We don't have to do
No?
any, no.
Okay. Okay, number 11, FOIA appeal number 25-287. Looks like this one was also received December 31st.
This one, we've been provided information. I do have some questions. So I'm going to make a motion, even though we're just receiving it, but I'm going to make a motion that we uphold the denial, but I do have questions on it, so I will make the motion to uphold the denial.
Support. Okay, discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Is the prosecuting attorney here? Oh, great. No, that's okay. I didn't even see you back there. I have a question about, so in section 14 of FOIA, you have to describe what records you're exempting. So you have the right, of course, to exempt under exemptions. So the attorney-client, or the work product doctrine, that's the exemption that you're claiming, you can exempt these records because of that. But do you ever describe to the requester what documents you're actually not providing?
When they have such a specific request, I don't go ahead and describe it in addition to that.
So you're not, so you're just going off of what they've asked for, and because it's very specific, you're not saying, I'm exempting under this exemption, and here's what I'm exempting.
Correct. If it was more of a broad stroke, like this one, I believe was notes, memos, those are pretty specific, and so I think we have decision notes, we have memos.
So you would basically just be describing exactly what the requester has
Correct.
already described?
Yes, it'd be very
Okay.
redundant of that, in that particular
Okay.
instance.
So that was the one thing. The other thing is, on page 4 of this memo that you provided, and it says that you've granted in part and denied in part, which makes perfect sense, and I can see what you've granted, and then you have what you've denied. And what's confusing to me is that the third bullet, which is MCL 15, or the third paragraph, I should say, which is 15243, you say that you are denying investigating records compiled for law enforcement purposes and so forth. Isn't that what's already in the first two items? It confused me. I didn't understand why you were saying you were denying that. Like, what is that? What is that
Can I
that
just
you're
make
denying?
sure I'm looking at the right,
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing
yeah.
that you're looking at?
Yeah, no problem. So,
Okay, yep, I'm looking
Yeah,
at this.
okay.
That's what I just wanted to check. So that's a separate section of exemption. There's some information that would constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy because it's contained in a law enforcement or is compiled for law enforcement purposes. Whereas there's information that, yes, may be the same information, but there may be additional information that would fit the subsection of 1A, which is information that would clearly constitute an unwarranted invasion of individuals' privacy. So they're technically two different standards.
so they're clearly two different things. Like,
They could be the same piece of information, they could be separate pieces of information.
Okay.
But they are two separate subsections of 243.
okay. I think those were my only questions, and my big question on that one was making sure that I understood why you weren't describing what was in your work product, but it's because it's so detailed, the request, that you don't need to.
And I can move forward with that in the future if that makes it easier.
It's
But
just
that's-
section 14 requires it.
That
and
was my
so-
thought process, is that it would be redundant of exactly what they were requesting.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion pass. Now, the last one, FOIA appeal number 25-288.
I would make a motion to uphold the denial.
Support?
I'll support.
Any discussion?
Yes. When I read through this, I want the requester to know where I'm coming from in upholding this denial. When I read through this, I felt like there was information that this particular requester should have access to. But as I continued to read through it, it became clear to me that the requester is upset with the process, the victim's rights process. And so from looking at what was requested and what was available to the requester, everything that was available was provided. But the requester is not happy with the process, I think, with the victim's rights process. So that's not our job, unfortunately. Fortunately, that's not our job. Our job only is to assess the FOIA and whether or not records should be released that weren't released. And so I'm just acknowledging to the requester that I can understand some of the language in the appeal, but it's not our job to analyze the process, the victim's rights process, so.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Do we need to set a meeting date 10 days after the receipt of that?
Motion passed, and we need to now set a meeting date. So.
So 10 days.
Monday morning, 9 o'clock?
I'm gone the 11th through the 14th.
On the 19th?
Oh, no, the 19th is
Is that
fine.
a holiday for us, Martin Luther King?
It is.
Not for the county employees, and I have to check if the courts are open or not on
Okay.
Martin Luther King, but county employees are.
The
here.
courts are
closed. What time were you?
It works for me.
With the holiday, does that count as one of the 10 business days?
No.
So
No,
we
it would
can,
not. We
we
could
can
do
just have
Tuesday.
it at the,
There you go, we'll just have it
Alright.
our regular,
Tuesday the
wait,
20th.
is it 10 days, because our meetings are in the evening? Hold on, is that right?
It'd
1,
be an
2,
11.
3,
We-
4, 5, 6,
we have a
7,
bonus
8,
day.
10. Yeah, that works. Yeah, we'll just do it at our regular
Just the
meeting.
regular.
right?
Cool,
Okay, perfect.
that's good. Okay. Number 12, general public comment. General public comment.
I'll try once again.
Oh, please state your
Name's
name.
Al Etnover, pardon?
No, go ahead, sorry.
Okay, not a problem. All right. And I was the grantee for the Wildlife Habitat Project out at the Delta County Forest. We applied for that in 2018. And by grantee, what that means is I was the go-between between the actual commissioners and the actual Michigan Department of Natural Resources grant program. In other words, I had to make sure all the work was done properly. On the grant application, everything was followed to the T. I had to approve it, take pictures of it, and actually send it in, get approval, and they, if needed, would come out and actually inspect on site. They always had that right, which we did have them come out one time, actually with the, in the grand opening, and they actually looked everything over. But in that grant, the DNR actually supplied $53,000. Wildlife Unlimited of Delta County and UP Whitetails Association each kicked in $10,000 to meet the match quota. Okay? We put in roads, trails, planted trees, created 12 acres of wildlife openings and viewing areas. We put in hardwood trees, oaks, and others. And what basically happened with COVID and everything and the change of the commissioners, I was stopped from doing any more work out there whatsoever. I gave your administrator a copy of the letter I submitted to the commissioners asking for approval to go back out there and finish up what I was supposed to finish with the actual grant, and I was kept from going out there. And I would like to relate a little bit more as far as the 195 people a day going out there. The last 2 years, I actually go out there and check it off and on, see what's going on. The grass is actually chest high. The deadfalls have not been removed from the trails. So please tell me how you're going to get 195 people a day out there to enjoy that property. It's impossible. Thank you.
Whitney Maloney, Gladstone. I'm going to just try this one last time. My comment before about the general public comment being in the rules and procedures, it just calls out general public comment. And on the agenda, there's 2 spots. There's actually 3 ways for which the public to engage in this board. So the public hearing, the general public comment, and the public comment on agenda items. Those aren't parsed out in the rules and procedures, so it's really unclear. And it's intimidating, I know, to a lot of folks to get up here and speak. So I think to have that just clarified would be really helpful. Lastly, watching this meeting, I think it's very clear to those watching and those in this room that there are a number of folks who are really incredibly prepared and thoughtful and interested in being collaborative and transparent. And I personally am disappointed that preparation and de facto leadership was not rewarded in actual leadership. So I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Any more general public comment?
At the last couple Parks and Rec meetings, there's been discussions on what the authority of the commission is.
Rory, just for 1 sec. Could you
Oh,
state
sorry,
your name?
Rory.
Yeah.
I apologize.
It's okay.
Nobody
Just for the
knows me,
YouTube,
so-
yeah.
So YouTube, okay. Okay, so there was questions on these Michigan compiled laws. So representatives and our senators are very helpful to get you in touch with attorneys in Lansing who can explain these laws. So basically, section 46.351 and 46.354 do talk about these, and then nowhere in there does it give up the rights of the Delta County Board of Commissioners as being the oversight. And then it became even more confusing when you looked at the Park and Rec plan, when you saw the structure, which does show you guys above everything. And then when you go to page 24, there's really, it agrees with that, the county board is the structure. It says right here, Parks and Rec Commission, with input from the parks manager, provides the annual budget, citizen oversight, sets policy, and evaluates proposals and makes recommendations to the Board of Commissioners. Everything on this page says that. And so I think it's up to the commissioners to decide if you're going to give up that authority or if you're going to keep it, or what you're going to do, because the law doesn't back it in that. And then the last thing I want to bring up during public comment was that your past park manager, and maybe John, you can check into this being the chairman, resigned and left the county somewhere right around the middle of June. He has not been paid everything that he is due. And according to him, it's over $20,000, and it's the middle of January. So I'm guessing it's an oversight, at least I'm hoping it's an oversight, but, you know, it's been a good 6 months, and it would be really nice if somebody could look in that, maybe the finance committee, it doesn't matter, but just find out, do you guys owe the man over $20,000? And because I guess he did request here a couple of months ago, and he was told, you know, don't worry, we're taking care of it, and obviously it hasn't been done. So I'm just bringing it to your attention for Steve, I guess. And the other thing that was in the thing that I didn't get to because of the timing is I see where you want to pave for trails from, it looks like the bathhouse, doesn't say the bathhouse though, but I'm guessing the bathhouse over to the river. Remember, there's a $300,000 septic mound there. Please do not put anything over the top of that. That's why we had a sign up restricting that. Because if that goes out, everything else in that right there is wetland.
Bob Barron. I was at the planning and zoning meeting last night, and the main agenda item was the master plan. And one of the last slide had a square on it, talked about future land use plan. Nowhere in this presentation and in the county master plan survey does it give any credence to the property owners. It's all assumed that the master plan and the planning and zoning, that the property owner is an insignificant individual here. The survey, if you go through study this thing, in question 13, it says, what would be your priority for updated zoning regulations in the area in which you live? Under this, it says choose one, but in the two of them it has here, protecting residents from the impacts of intensive development, anticipating future issues of uses or development, that may create issues. Well, one of the things that they went over was NIMBYism. Those two things right there are referring to NIMBYism. You go a little further down, it is, one blank is all of the above. So this, that's one that doesn't know much about it. They'll more than likely mark that on it. And they talked about NIMBYism on their presentation. This fellow from QPAD did. Well, it's not something that you can, when you ignore the landowners, that you know better than they do. And then it was brought out specifically by the comments from the Planning Commission last night in their board comments. The one that was most telling was one of the newest members, and said that as far as they didn't like having to tell people what to do on their property, but, and that's always a dandy, but in 40 to 50 years, they'll probably, that individual wouldn't be here, and so zoning is great. Well, what struck me immediately was that I didn't realize he was raising dumb kids. Because the reality is here, you're saying that, well, the next bunch aren't going to be as smart as I am. Now, and that's ridiculous. I think zoning is 50 years old in the rural areas in Delta County. And its track record is pathetic. And I think the county board jammed it down the throats of the people without them even getting a vote on it. I think this county board needs to get out of zoning and let the townships have their individual townships vote on whether they want it or not. It never had the opportunity in Delta County. Menominee County did next door. And so did a whole lot of other places across the UP. The only free spot in Delta County is the Village of Garden.
Any other general public comment? Anything on, any other general public comment?
I'm sorry, I have to log into this phone. This is what happens when I lose my phone. No.
No?
No.
Okay. We'll move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner Johnson.
Happy New Year, everybody. Glad to see so much participation. It was nice to see everybody out. One thing I would like to see is, I'm really happy the fishermen came out to suggest Sac Bay. I would like to see that in the rec plan. I think that's a great suggestion. I caught wind of it just a couple days ago, and I'm glad you guys are here letting us know that that needs to happen, so thank you. And then also, I'd like to address departmental updates. We don't get a whole lot of departmental updates anymore. And I know it's intimidating up there when you're not used to sitting behind this nice big wall. But it would be great if people in our departments let us know the progress of like a department, or if something new is happening. We would really appreciate to know, like, hey, I'm thinking about breaking ground on this, or I'm thinking about this new purchase, or hey, did you know that spyware is up 1,000,000%, or whatever stats are out there, to like just let us know, like, things to be aware of. That way, if they do come to this board, we've already kind of been briefed on it, and we can react appropriately and vote appropriately. Try to keep down the arguments back and forth as much as we possibly can. Ideally, we're going to use the table a little bit more to have our more private, or more conducive, more discussion type meetings. So departmental updates, please make it to these meetings if you have something to update us with. Thank you.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes, I would just like to thank the gentleman for coming in and discussing the Sac Bay. I had stopped by our maintenance department this fall to see how things were going, to see what projects they were going to be working on. And one of our maintenance crew said, oh yeah, so-and-so is out, he had to drive over to Sac Bay to mow it. What are we doing out there? Why do we have it? Like, we spend all day, going out there and mowing, and you don't see any development on it. So when you guys came forward tonight, I was like, yes, like, this is our opportunity. Now I can go back to that maintenance employee and say, potentially, hey, there are people who are interested in that piece of property and what we can do to maintain it. So thank you for that. I wish everybody a happy new year. I look forward to another year on this board. I wish Commissioner Johnson the best in vice chair. I'll definitely miss it. And moving forward with Commissioner Malner as our board chair. And I look forward to many spicy discussions in the future. Thank you.
Commissioner Jensen.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations, you too. Happy New Year to everyone here. Those that have known me a long time, I'd like to see people in the audience, especially for a public hearing. It's really disconcerting when all of a sudden you have a public hearing, it's been out there for a while, and you have one or two people show up versus more people. So thank you for everybody that showed up tonight. Hopefully, we will continue to see more as we move forward. That would be a bad problem to have, because we had to find another venue because we had too many people. I think that's something that would be rather exciting. So I know the temperature's right around that point, so everyone be careful as you're leaving tonight. I know it's going to start to get icy here pretty quick. So thank you, everyone, and look forward to the next year.
Commissioner Williams.
I've got a couple of things. My townships have been asking questions about our address signs and whether we have a plan for missing and damaged signs as time goes on. So just something to let everybody know about. And then maybe John and Matt, if you guys can ask your townships if they have some process that they're using, and maybe we could come up with like a countywide approach, if that doesn't already exist. It might already exist. I don't know, so whether you have or not.
Well, if you,
Yeah,
it's kind of a
please.
long discussion, so we can probably talk about it after, and then we'll
Perfect.
relay
Okay,
information to the.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That would be great if we can communicate with them. If you have additional feedback for the county's five-year rec plan, in addition to what was presented here, by the way, what was presented here will be transcribed and given to the Parks and Rec Commission members by tomorrow morning so that they have it for their Thursday meeting. But if you have additional information, you want to provide additional feedback, then please attend please attend the Parks and Rec Commission meeting on Thursday. It's in this room at 5:30 PM. So any information that's being presented is going to be reviewed and discussed at that meeting. Obviously, there have been many, many times to provide public comment. So folks who think that they haven't had their comments listened to, if you still believe that, please attend the PRC meeting and you can provide that input at that meeting. That meeting is when the Parks and Rec Commission is planning to finalize the plan. There's lots of public comment that came in through the online form. And so, and then obviously there's a lot of public comment that came in here tonight. And so we'll take all of that and review it and ingest whatever the group decides they want to put in the plan. So also I want to just let everybody know that the Brownfield Authority is being reactivated. This is a very important group. It has a goal of this next year to get a portfolio together so we can have developable sites to share with any potential developers. That goal also includes documenting the process for any grant funding that might be able to prioritize those sites for redevelopment. So if there's folks out there that are interested in serving on Brownfield Authority, I think we're going to announce there's a 30-day window for that right now. Please get involved. I'd love to see lots of input on that, and I hope that it can get reinvigorated in a really positive way this next year.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Williams, I
yeah.
don't mean to interrupt you. Do we have specifications for the membership?
No, I have not. Tracy said that she looked through, the board secretary said she looked through what she had, and she said, I'm gonna have to go in the basement and see. It's been so long since it's met.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
at this
at this
point.
time, we don't know how many people would be on it?
I think right now there were five. There were
Five,
five, yeah,
okay.
there were five originally. So I think if we got well, there's one commissioner and then whatever members. But I don't know if there's stipulations associated
Right,
with it.
like district
Yep.
requirements, things of that nature. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So, but we're still looking. So,
Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
yeah. Tracy's gonna continue. She'll probably have to go to the basement and see if she can find the information.
You don't see her, you're gonna have to sit down with a search party.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was a comment made about inconsistency in the parks and in the five-year rec plan about the language of the PRC, and that is known, that has been commented on, and we do plan to create consistency around that language so that it isn't inconsistent. But when the plan was very first started back in January, there was some confusion around the role of this commission, and so that language will be cleaned up, so no worries there. I want to thank everybody for coming out, especially the folks coming out, the Fishermen's Association. Thank you very much appreciate hearing from you. Appreciated all of your feedback that came in on the online forums. That was great. And I think that looking at water access, obviously that was the number one goal that came out of our survey from all of our constituents. Access to that waterfront is important. And obviously there's a particular area of Delta County that maybe needs some focus. So thank you again, and Happy New Year, everybody, and I look forward to the next year. Thank you.
Okay. Me and John Stapleton John Stapleton brought it to my attention about the fishermen down in Fairport. And I actually have, within the last year, talked to the regional manager up in Marquette from the DNR, Stacy. And she talked a little bit, and then I told John, I says, we gotta get some people together, some fishermen together, and start creating some noise. So on that, I give one of the gentlemen my card to get a hold of me and give me a call. And I think if we can get a group together and pound the DNR a little bit, and maybe we can get something at the park up there also. So, but I know that park, the water, it's shallow for quite a ways. No, no. You can talk to me later. So, yes, I have known about this, me and John Stapleton, and I told him, I said, we gotta get some people together and get something going to get the DNR moving. So, on that, have a great new year. Meeting schedule. Regular board meeting, Commissioner Board meeting on 1/20/26 at 5:15 right here at the Service Center. The next one would be February 3rd, 2026. Yeah, we're talking February already.
Wow.
At 5:15 here at the Service Center. And then the third one is 2/17 at 5:15 here at the Service Center.
We just had Christmas.
Yeah, I know. No wonder this job goes fast. Notice, 30-day notice of appointment, there is opening on Department of Human Services, that's state appointed. There's Building Authority, Superior Trade Zone, and the new one with Commissioner Williams was just talking about was the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. On that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Good night.
Good night.